Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new to my channel, my name is Sam, welcome. And if you're not, welcome back. What's up guys? So today I wanted to do a video. This video is a little bit different than my typical tutorial or review on makeup products. Today I'm going to share with you some products that I think that will work well for those who are just getting started in makeup. I know that makeup over the past several years has really been blown up and people are getting more into it, and I'm down with it because I love makeup myself. And I know that when I first started makeup, it was really overwhelming and I didn't know where to begin and I was just very lost. And the first time I ever stepped into an Ulta or Sephora, I just remember feeling completely overwhelmed because from the second you walk in, you're just like, where do I start? There's literally so many different displays and so many different stands with so many different products, and there's so many different things to like look at. You don't even know what to start with. So I relied a lot on YouTube as well as trial and error when I first started. And I want to share with you some products that are both high-end and drugstore. For those of you balling on a budget, I'm okay with that too, girl. You can look fly on a budget. Don't let anybody tell you any different. So yeah, I just want to share with you some products that work really well for me. And I think that would be great parts of your collection if you're just getting started. So first I'm going to start with foundation. Now a little background on my skin type. I do have combination to oily skin, and my skin is pretty normal except for my T-zone. My T-zone gets very oily at times, and on occasion I do have to blot and things like that. But for me personally, I do not like a matte foundation because I feel like it just takes away from the dimension of my face. It makes me look very flat. I like more of a satin type finish foundation, one that if my oils do peek through, that it looks very natural and I look very glowy, but not like a hot mess greasy kind of like oil peek through. So I like foundations like that, and I'm going to share with you some foundations kind of in that category that are a little bit more of the satin to matte kind of formulation. And first I'm going to start with the drugstore products that I love. Now you guys, we all know that we wear foundation to look flawless. We want to create a nice canvas for our makeup look, and I feel like if your foundation or your skin does not look on point, it really can take away from your makeup and it can make your makeup look like from flag to like So I'm going to share with you this foundation. This one is from Wet n Wild, and this is such a great foundation, you guys. I literally just finished filming my 2017 Best of Beauty, and I don't know how this foundation slipped my mind to throw into the video because this was something that I gravitated towards a lot and I used a lot and I absolutely loved it. And this foundation makes your skin look absolutely beautiful. You look seamless, you look flawless. I just feel like it makes a really nice canvas. And I feel like with time, it just gets better and better looking. Like it's just such a great foundation. And I am in the color Caramel. And a little reference for you guys, I am a Max NC44. So you have a little guide point in case you're trying to compare to your skin tone to mine. And this foundation, you guys, retails for about $5. So it's super affordable. It is very comparable to something that is high-end to me, which is why I love it. You're getting the drugstore price point, but you're getting the high-end coverage and the way that it wears on the skin, and it feels so nice and light. It's got a nice thin consistency, but it does give you that medium to full coverage, which is really nice as well. So it doesn't feel very heavy on the skin. So I love this foundation. It's great stuff. And mostly it's affordable, like, which is like one of the most important things, right? So love this guy, it's great. I used it so much last year. The next foundation, also from the drugstore that I loved, is this one from Covergirl. This is the 3-in-1 foundation. I am in the color Classic Tan, and this foundation has a 3-in-1 kind of formulation that includes a primer, a concealer, and a foundation all wrapped up in one formulation. And I can say that the concealer aspect of it is like meh, because I don't carry my foundation underneath my eye. So I can't really, I can't really attribute to that claim. But I can say that this is really great coverage. This is a little bit of a thicker consistency, but it doesn't feel cakey on the skin. It is a little thicker. I do like that this has a pump that you're able to pump your foundation, so it's a little bit more sanitary, which is nice as well. And the coverage on this is pretty like full coverage, I would say, more than medium. It's medium to full, but more on the full coverage side. And I really like it. I use this foundation so much. You can see that it's halfway finished. it's something that I just gravitate towards and I love. I love the formulation of it as well. It feels really nice on the skin. And most of all, I love the coverage. It's got really great coverage. I know that there was a point in time where my face was just breaking out like crazy, and I can always depend on this guy to cover up all those problem areas. So really great foundation. This retails for about $8 or $9, so it's pretty affordable as well. If I had to choose one of the two, I would probably choose the Wet n Wild one because I love that airiness to the skin that one gives you. It's a little bit more lightweight on the skin, whereas this one's a little bit thicker, but both are really good. Just depends on whatever you're into and whatever your skin can really take. So as far as high-end, I'm going to share with you a product that has been a part of my collection for over 10 years. This was actually the first foundation that I ever wore, and I love it. I always come back to it, and I never disappoints. And it is the MAC Studio Fix Fluid, and I am in the color NC44. And this foundation is so beautiful on the skin. Every time that I take it out of my drawers and I just reuse it again, I realize why I love this foundation and why I always come back to it, because it's just so gorgeous on the skin. This is more of a medium to full coverage, but more, I would say, on the medium side, but very buildable. It does give you really great coverage. I love this because it just looks so good on the skin. The skin looks completely airbrushed to me whenever I place this on, and it just makes me look completely seamless, and my skin looks like, it just looks like a whole new girl. Like, I look so good. I can't even with this foundation. It just does really well on my skin. And I know a lot of people have a lot of negative things to say about MAC and their foundations. But me personally, it's where I started when I started makeup. And I feel like MAC has never done me wrong. So I love this. It doesn't clog my pores, or it doesn't make me break out or anything. It's a great foundation. I can always rely on it, whether I'm going to a wedding or I'm just going to a concert. I just know that it's always gonna look good on my skin. So this is a really great one, and I promise you, if you use this, you will not be disappointed because it looks so good on the skin. Now, moving on from foundations, I'm going to share with you some concealers. And concealers are a little bit tricky, and I feel like it's just really hard to pinpoint a concealer that's going to work well for you. It's definitely been one of the most trying areas of makeup for me, because there's just so many different concealers out there with so many different formulations, and some of them are very thick and some of them are just too thin. And I have dark circles, so I need a concealer that's going to give me great coverage. So it's just hard to find a nice happy medium that checks all the boxes that I'm looking for. But I have managed to find some that work really well for me. And a little background about my under eye area. I do have normal skin under there. It's not like oily or it's not extra dry. But I do have lots of fine lines underneath my eyes. So it is easy for concealers to crease under there. And also, in addition to that, I do have dark circles. So I want a concealer that is going to give me good coverage. The ones that work well for me are, first, the NYX concealer. This is the HD concealer. I'm in the color CW06, and I do mix this with CW07 because it gives me the perfect combination of brightness. And this concealer is so good, you guys. This is affordable, and it gives you really great coverage. And I love the formulation of it because it's not heavy underneath the eyes. And it does give you nice coverage for not being heavy. So I don't have a problem with it creasing, and when I set it, it looks absolutely stunning. And you would never think that a $3 concealer can give you such great results, but this one does. I love it so much. And I'm pretty sure that they expanded their color selection, so there is one that works better for my skin tone. I just can't remember the color off the top of my head. Now, moving on from that one, I'm going to share with you some high-end ones. And I do have two. And I will admit that if I am going to tell you one place to spend your money, I think that you should definitely spend it on concealer if you're going to dabble into the high-end products. And the reason why I say that is because though I do love the NYX one, I have to say that these two concealers I'm going to share with you are just, they blow the NYX one out of the water, and I just feel like there's nothing that compares to them. And like I said before, concealing is just really important to me, and it's very hard to find a one that works well for me. So these two are really great, and I love them so much. And the first of which is from Tarte. This is the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. I am in the color Tan, and I know that you've heard about this. Like, everybody and their mom talks about this. This is on every social media platform. This is in everybody's YouTube video, and It's for obvious reasons. It is such a great concealer. It's got really nice formulation to it. It is a little bit on the thicker side, but it blends out very nicely, so it doesn't feel heavy underneath the eyes. And eyes, like I said before, I have eyes that tend to crease, and I don't have a problem with this creasing underneath my eyes, so that's really nice as well. And it comes with this really nice doe foot fat wand, so it's really great for carving out the areas that you want to conceal and giving you that nice kind of shape to it. It gives you a little bit of flexibility with the wand. And not only that, I just think it's such a great concealer because even though I do have dark circles, I don't have to worry about color correcting with this concealer because it doesn't give me that gray cast to my eyes when you cover up your dark circle with a concealer. Sometimes some concealers can make your eyes look a little bit gray if you are covering up a dark circle. So I love this concealer. It's really nice, even though it's a little bit thicker in formulation. It has really great coverage and it's very blendable and it looks beautiful underneath the eyes. It makes your under eyes look amazing, like literally flawless. The next one that I absolutely love, and this one I've had for years and years and years, and this is the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. I'm in the shade NC42. And I love this concealer. This is probably my most used concealer before I started using the Tarte Shape Tape one. And I took this on a trip with me this weekend and I realized that it's just so good. Like, it really is comparable to the Tarte. For me, they're like kind of even as far as concealers and how amazing they are. I think the Tarte, probably my favorite as of lately, but I love this one. I can always depend on it as well. So the thing I love about this is this has a really nice thin consistency. It's very thin, so it makes it almost impossible to crease underneath my eyes, which is nice, but it gives me awesome coverage. So it's really lightweight, it's really airy underneath the eyes, and it gives you great coverage. Like, what more could you ask for in a concealer? So I absolutely love this. This is a brand new bottle because my other one is almost done. I just love this, you guys. It's such a great product, and it's pretty inexpensive. I think this is like $20 because concealers can get very pricey, you guys. Like, very pricey, very quick. So love this guy. It's really great, and a little does go a long way. Like, one pump can definitely conceal like your whole face and some. So you get a good amount of product with this guy. Now, moving on from foundation and concealers, I'm going to share with you some primers. Now, priming is something that it's like a means to an end, you know, like you have to do it to get to the next step. It's not something that I absolutely love doing. It's not something that I like want to makeup shop for, but it's like, it's a step you have to take. Primer does help your makeup to last longer. It makes for a good canvas to apply your foundation because primers can, you know, fill in any fine lines and any pores and things like that. So it's definitely a necessary evil, so to speak. But I'm going to share with you two primers that I absolutely love. The first of which is from NYX. This is the NYX Angel Veil Primer. And this primer is such a great dupe for the Hourglass Angel. Is it called Angel Veil? No, that's the name of this primer. It's a dupe for the Hourglass primer. I don't remember the exact name for it, but it is a pretty high-end primer. It's very expensive. It's about $50. And I feel like between this one and that one, if you were to place both of them on your hand, you would not really be able to tell the difference. That's how good it is. And this one is like $8 or so. So it's really affordable. And this one's really nice because it makes your skin feel so smooth and it's very lightweight on the skin. And when you apply your foundation on top of this, it just glides on. It looks so nice and it's very effortless. And I think that they did such a great job on this because it's got a nice texture to it. I don't know how else to explain it. It's not like silicone type texture. It's just a very lightweight, like airy feel to the skin, and it definitely feels very smooth. So I like this primer a lot. And the next primer I'm going to share with you is my high-end choice, and that is my primer from MAC. This is my MAC Matte Cream Primer, and this one I will say is not more of a mattifying primer to me. It doesn't make my skin more matte in my opinion, but it does make my skin so seamless when I apply it on. Like, it covers all of my fine lines. It makes my skin super smooth, and when I apply my foundation, I can tell the difference. I love those silicone type primers. Those are my absolute favorite because they just make my skin so nice, and it just makes them so soft to touch. And when you apply your foundation on top of that, it just makes it look that much better. So I love this primer. Now, moving on from those, I'm going to share with you setting powders. And setting powders are very big right now. Everybody's into baking. Everybody wants to bake. And I know that, I don't know, like for me, it's hard to find a setting powder that works well for my skin tone because I am deeper in complexion. There are definitely some setting powders that can make me look very ashy, and it just is not a good mix for underneath my eyes, and for setting my face, I just look a hot mess. So these are powders that work really good for me, and I love them, and I could bake away and have no problems with flashback or anything like that. Some of those powders will do you wrong when you take a picture. They really will. They'll have you looking a hot mess. So these ones work really good for me, and the first of which I'm going to share with you is the one from the drugstore, and this is the Kody Airspun powder. This is like a very old loose powder. Like I think everybody's grandma used to use this back in the day. It's a cult favorite. I bought this at Walmart. I believe this was about $5 or so. And when I tell you, you guys, you get so much product in here. It doesn't tell you exactly how much on the box, but when I open this, I have taken out the little sifter, but look at how full that is. They do not skimp out on the product. So this is a really great product. It's got a really nice formulation. It goes on so nicely, and this can work for every skin tone. This is actually what I use in my freelance kit because I know it will work well for everyone, whether you're light to medium to dark, and it looks so good on the skin, and it doesn't give you flashback because I do work with a lot of brides and bridesmaids. It's really important to have a powder that is not going to give them flashback. So you can really mess up someone's day with that flashback. But this is such a great one, and it's so affordable, and you get so much product. The only downside about this powder is that it has a very heavy fluorescent stink smell to it. I think it's stinky. Some people might like it, but it's just very strong and very potent. Like, it lets you know it's there. So the only downside about it, but for the price point, like, who cares? It can be as stinky as it wants, right? So yeah, love this guy. It's a great product. The next two I'm going to share with you are my high-end choices, and the first of which is from Laura Mercier. This is the translucent powder from her, and this is such a great powder, you guys. I've gone through one of these already, and this comes with quite a bit of product too. It comes with 1 ounce, so you do get a lot of product, and I feel like it's so hard to go through a whole jar of this because it's a lot, and when you bake, I mean, you don't use that much powder. Like, you use some and you dust off some excess, but it's not like enough to like be going through one of these, like I feel, but I did. So that just goes to show how much I truly loved it. And this is really great. I love the way it feels underneath my eyes. I have recommended this to people and it didn't work well for them, but for me personally, it just has never failed me, and it feels so good underneath my eyes. It's something that I use a lot, and it hasn't disappointed me. The formulation is really nice. It does have some finely milled flecks of shimmer, but it doesn't look shimmery underneath the eyes. It looks really nice, and it gives you that nice glow for underneath the eye area. So I love it, and you can use this also to set your whole face if you needed to. Moving on from that, I'm going to share with you probably my current favorite. I don't know, it's between this and the Patrick Star, but the Patrick Star I think is limited edition, which is why I'm not sharing it with you guys. But the next one I love is this one from Dermablend, and I'm going to be honest and say that I had a travel size one in my collection for the longest period of time, and I never used it because if you look at it in the packaging, it is very stark white, and I was like, this is never going to work well for me. It's going to give me flashback. It's going to look ashy underneath my eyes. I was like, no. It just sat there. And when you look at the Laura Mercier one, this one is a little bit more on the creamier side. So it's like an off-white, whereas this one is just a complete stark white. So it was something that kind of scared me when I saw it. So one day I remember I was using it, and I thought that it was so nice, you guys. It is the most finely milled powder I've ever placed under my eyes, and it doesn't look cakey at all. It looks so nice, and it goes on so nicely. It just bakes underneath that area to perfection. And Patrick Star used this, and I noticed that he was using it, and he's like the baking queen. So I was like, this is probably better than I thought. So I've been using it a lot, and I love it. It looks so good underneath the area, and I love how finely milled it is. So it just looks so nice, and it doesn't look cakey or anything like that. So this is a really great powder. Any of the three that I mentioned are really good. I don't think you can really go wrong with any of those. So now I'm going to move on to cheek products, and cheek products are some of my favorite to apply when I'm doing my makeup. I love eyeshadow and I love cheek products. Like, those are my happy places when it comes to makeup. So the first cheek product I'm going to share with you is Highlight, my most favorite. There's nothing more I love than a nice beaming highlight. Highlight's been on trend for like the past year and a half or so. So you guys all know what I'm talking about when I tell you I want that bam in your face highlight. And I feel like it's kind of been a struggle in the drugstores with highlights. I think that they have a lot of highlights, but they don't give me what I'm looking for in a highlight. They're not checking all the boxes for me. So when it came to picking one in the drugstore, I just felt like all of them were very glittery, or they just flaked off and they just didn't do anything for me. But Maybelline came through for the drugstore. Like, let me just tell you that Maybelline released this Master Chrome Face Studio highlighter. This is in the color Molten Gold. And you guys, this highlighter is absolutely stunning. You can see in the pan how beautiful she is. This is a really nice gold shade because golds tend to work well for my skin tone, like those champagne tones, those champagne gold tones. And this, you guys, is so good. The formulation is very creamy. It goes on really nicely. It's actually what I have on today for my highlight, so you can see that it does give you really great pigmentation. And let me just tell you, I didn't spray any Fix Plus or anything on my brush to enhance it. This is just it, all on its own. So it's a really great product. I love the way it looks. It feels good. It lasts well. You can see I put a little dent in this guy. It's really great. And for the drugstore, I'm just so ultra impressed. And I just think they did such a good job. And if you're lighter in skin tone, I do believe that they have a rose gold shade that's a little bit lighter. So that might work a little bit better for you. But this, you guys, so good. Love it so much. Now for my high-end love. This is probably one of my favorite highlights of all time. And this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills So Hollywood highlighter. And when they release these highlights, I bought them in every single color, but this is the one that works the best for my skin tone. I love the way that it looks. This gives you such great pigmentation, and with one sweep of this across your cheeks, you're getting ultra pigmentation, you're beaming, you're letting everybody know that you have arrived to the party. Like, it's on and it's popping on the cheeks. And I love this. I just think it's such a great highlighting shade. And for a while, this was hyped all over YouTube. So I definitely suggest this. This is a really great product. So pigmented. A little goes a long way. So even though I think this retails for about $20 or so, you will get your money's worth because you don't have to use so much product. So it's really nice. Love it. This is $20 and I think this is $8. So pick and choose where you spend your money, but both of them are really good, so you don't have to buy the high-end one if you don't want to. Now, moving on from that, I'm going to share with you some bronzers. Now, just a little tidbit about bronzers. Bronzers are not a mocha mama's friend. Like, I just feel like the bronzing world is just very difficult. It's hard to find a bronzer that works well for people who are my skin tone and darker, and the struggle is very real. So I'm going to share with you two bronzers that work for me. I got lucky enough to find something in the drugstore, and I did get lucky enough to find something higher end. The first of which is going to be my drugstore choice, and it is from Jane Cosmetics. And I bought this at Ulta, even though I haven't seen it recently. I know that they are still around. And this is in the color Give. And as you can see, this is just a really beautiful, warm bronzer. It looks so good on the skin. This does not look ashy on me at all. It doesn't pick up red. It is just the perfect amount of warmth to the skin. And I do believe that they do have this in one shade darker. So there are some options there. So that's really, really nice. And you can see I do love this because you can see the pan rings coming through on this guy. This is a really great bronzer. I love the pigmentation of it. It's ultra pigmented and it just gives me everything that I need in a bronzer. So I was really pleased with this. I don't remember off the top of my head how much this cost, but it is affordable. Now on to my higher end choice. This is going to be from MAC, and this is not per se a bronzer, but this is a mineralized skin finish. And I love mineralized skin finish. This is one of the lightest things to put on your face to set your face without being too over the top. but you can also use it as a bronzer. And what I did was I asked for the shade that was 2 shades darker than my skin tone, and I used this as my bronzer. And it is in the color Dark Deep. I think, a medium to medium tan. I can't remember off the top of my head, but this is my favorite bronzer of all time, because I think that when you have something in your skin tone that's a little bit deeper, it just makes you look more warm and doesn't make you look ashy or gray. It is nice for contouring. It's also very nice for bronzing and just giving some color to the skin. I just love this. It's such a great formulation, and it's very lightweight. Like, I feel like when you pack like primer on and then you pack your foundation on, then you pack on a setting powder, like, I feel like it can get cakey very quick because you're just adding product on top of product on top of product. But this doesn't give me that. It's a very lightweight formulation. It looks really good on the skin. Now onto blushes. I love blushes, you guys. Like, bronzers, highlights, blushes, like, that's the way to my heart. Like, that is the way to my heart. So when it came to blushes, I have so many blushes. This was really hard for me to choose, and I think that I picked some really good ones that are really great. And the first one is going to be my drugstore choice, and this is from Milani, and this is in the color Romantic Rose. And I remember they released these about a year or 2 ago, and my sister-in-law actually told me about them. And I did head out to the store and pick one up, and I got it in this shade, I believe, and I was so impressed by it that I went back and bought it in every single color. I think they have 3 colors. So they have a brighter tone, they have a little bit more muted tone, and I think they have like a more of a peachy pinky tone. So you definitely have some options there. But you guys, this blush is so great for the price point. For being drugstore, it is so ultra pigmented and it stays on the skin. Like, I feel like sometimes blushes can lose their pigmentation and just kind of dull down after time, and you don't get that nice flush to the cheeks that you originally have when you place it on. But this one stays in place for forever. And the thing I love about this shade in particular, which is why I chose it to share with you guys, is because this shade, you can pair it with so many different looks. You can pair this with a bright lip. You can pair this with a smoky eye. You can pair this with an eye that's a little bit on the eccentric side with lots of neon colors. Like, whatever the case is, I feel like this one has your back. It's a really great choice. And it's nice. It's a really nice blush, and it doesn't look powdery, and it doesn't look ashy on the skin. Like, I know some blushes can look very powdery and ugh. So this one did really well for me, and it's really great. And I think that you can't go wrong with this blush. Like, Milani really pulled through, you guys. They had your back. Okay, so for my high-end choice, I'm going to share with you the Anastasia Beverly Hills Box Blush. Now, these are currently on sale at Sephora. I believe it's a part of their weekly deal. So they're $17, so I definitely suggest getting them, like, right now if you're going to choose to get something from the high-end side, because it is a little bit more on the affordable side. I believe the Milani blushes are about $7 or $8, so if you spend $10 or so more dollars, you can get this guy. But this box blush is so good. This contains 4 nice size blushes. You can see the pans are pretty huge, and it comes with a nice selection of colors in here. And the thing I like about this is that you have choices, you have options. And I know that sometimes when you're just getting started with makeup, you don't know which to choose, or you might think that one thing looks good, but you might need something else. And I feel like this gives you everything you could possibly need, and it's great for a beginner. And it gives you your nice, like, bubblegum pink, your nice muted, like, more terracotta type pink. This one is like your more bronzy pink, and this one is your more mauve pink. So you definitely have like the whole pink color scheme going on in here, and the pigmentation on these blushes is unreal. A little goes a long way, and they're ultra pigmented. So with one little boop to the brush to the cheeks, you got your cheeks on and popping. You got that real nice flush that you were looking for. So I love this cheek product. It's really great. I think Anastasia did a really great job with the formulation. It's just really nice, and I'm super impressed. Like, this is really good stuff. Okay, now moving on from that, I'm going to share with you mascaras. Now, I personally do not wear false lashes. It's very rare that I wear them because they're just so annoying to me, but I do like a nice mascara that's going to make my eyelashes really pop, give them volume, and I feel like there's definitely things that you should buy that are higher end, but I definitely think that mascara is not one of them. I feel like you can definitely find some really good drugstore alternatives for the high-end stuff, and you can save your coins where they need to be saved, and that's definitely one of them. But I'm going to share with you two, one high-end and one low-end, and the first of which I'm going to share with you is a dupe, but it's also found at your closest drugstore, and it is the L'Oreal Luminous Lash Paradise mascara. And you guys, this is a dupe for the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. Now, I have had this one for a little bit longer because I do love the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. It's really great. I did purchase the full-size version of it because I did love it. I tried the sample size and I loved it so much that I did buy the full size. But then not too long ago, they released the L'Oreal, and they are complete dupes for one another, and I could not get over it. I was like, oh my god, that's crazy. So the top wand is going to be the Too Faced, and the bottom one is going to be the L'Oreal. And I'm going to hold them side by side so you can see how crazy it is, how similar they are. So here you can see the two side by side, and I swear if I would have never have told you which one's which, you would not be able to tell. And they're just so similar. Like the brush heads are just so identical. Okay, so what I love about this L'Oreal one is that the brush is really nice. It has an actual type brush applicator. The wand is really easy to use, and it coats my lashes so nicely. Like I said before, I don't wear false lashes, but I want my eyelashes to look like I have false lashes on. So I want them to be well coated, and I want them to be nice and fanned out. And I feel like the brush really does that for me. And the formulation of this mascara is really nice. It really clings onto the hairs and gives them much volume needed. And I love the way that it looks. Like every time I wear this mascara, I'm super impressed, and it's just such a great dupe for the Too Faced one, which is one of my favorites. Now, when it comes to high-end, this has been my favorite high-end mascara, and it is the Tarte Tarteist mascara. And this one has a little bit different of a wand. This is not going to be your brush wand. This has more of a spiky wand tip. And I like this one because it gives me really nice volume. It coats my lashes so well. I think because it's got those spikes, it's almost like a comb, and it just flares my lashes out and coats them beautifully. So my eyes look really nice and full when I wear this as well. I was really impressed because I'm not a huge fan of Tarte's mascaras, but this one was really great, and I love this. So this is my high-end choice, but like I said before, I don't think it's a necessity. It's definitely a splurge item if you want to. Okay, now moving on from mascara, I'm going to share with you liquid liners. Now for me, liquid liner is pretty essential. Like, I do not feel comfortable wearing makeup if I do not have a wing or any liner. Like, call me dramatic, I don't care. But I love myself a nice wing, and for me, it's really important to have a really great liquid liner. I don't like gel liner, so I'm not going to suggest any to you because I feel like they're very difficult to work with. Definitely not good for beginners. They're very just hard to, I don't know, they're just not, they don't work well for me. They don't give me precision. They don't do anything for me. But when it comes to liquid liners, I feel like it's really important to have a good one that's going to make you have like the flexibility you need to create whatever kind of line you're going to create, whether you do a wing liner or you're doing just a normal simple like line. I just feel like you need one that's going to work best for you and give you flexibility and precision. And for me, I have a drugstore version and I have a high-end version, but I'm definitely going to say that I prefer the high-end version much more than I do the drugstore. So the drugstore one I'm going to show with you is from NYC. This is the liquid eyeliner. And this is nice because it is so black. It's ultra pigmented, and it literally will create a really nice pigmented line when applying your liquid liner. The thing I like about this is that, as opposed to my high-end one, is that it dries matte, whereas my high-end one has a shiny finish, but you win some, you lose some, you know? And the thing I do not like about this is the applicator. It doesn't give you as much flexibility without being easy. It's a little bit more difficult to work with, I think, because it does have that brush tip. It's like literally like a brush, like you're painting your fingernails. And I feel like when creating my wing, it's just very easy to get very messy. So I feel like it's a little bit more difficult to work with, but it is a nice formulation. Like the overall formulation of the liner in itself is really nice. You just have to work with it. You have to have like a pretty good hand. Like I don't know what else to say. I do like it. It's just a little bit harder and it takes me a little bit more time. So that's why I think that I can live without the drugstore version of my choice here. And when it comes to high end, I'm going to show you my tried and true. I've been using this for like 5-6 years now, and it is the Lorac Frontline Pro Liquid Liner. And this is such a great liner. It lasts forever, so don't be scared to spend the $20 that it costs, because literally one of these will last me for 6 months or so. So they do have really good stay power, and it has these really nice bristles for your tip. So I feel like it gives you nice control, and they're very firm, so they create nice wings, and they're easy to work with. I just feel like I can create my wings in such a short amount of time. So they're definitely like an easy product to work with, and it gives you really nice pigmentation. It's actually what I have on today, and you can see my wings are really nice. They give me really good precision, and they're very black, so I love that about this. So this is my favorite of all time. I love the brush tip because it doesn't, unlike a felt tip, it doesn't fray, and it just helps with the longevity of the product. Whereas the felt tip, I feel like, yeah, in the beginning they might be good, but then they end up fraying out and you waste on product because you don't have that precision anymore. So that's why I really love this guy, and it's been working well for me for years and years and years. So always, if you watch my videos, you'll see me using this. I love it so much. Now, as far as brows, I definitely feel like either or is okay. I don't think you need to have the high-end brow product, but it's definitely a splurge item if you want to buy it. But I definitely love the drugstore version of it. It's the more affordable route, and I feel like you can make your brows look bomb on a budget, which is great. So the drugstore one I'm going to share with you is from Sephora, and this is the Sephora waterproof retractable brow pencil, and I'm in the color 04 Midnight Brown, and this has been great. I've gone through countless amounts of these pencils. This is actually a brand new one, but this one is really good. It reminds me of the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz because it gives you that thin, I will open it actually so you can see. So the thing I love about this pencil is that it's retractable. It's got a really nice thin tip to it, and it's got really great pigmentation. And I love the way that it applies product. It's got a really nice formula, and it doesn't drag at the skin where I think some are very dry and this one isn't. The only thing that I can live without is this like kind of comb that they have at the end. This doesn't do anything for me. I wish it did have a spoolie at the end, but all in all, this product is really good and it lasts forever on the eyes. The waterproof claim, I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I don't go swimming with my makeup ever, and I don't like try to get my makeup wet, but it stays pretty pigmented for a while. That's all I can say about it. The waterproof claim, don't know. Now my high-end choices, either or is good. I don't really prefer one over the other. I will share with you why I put both in them, but the first of which is the Anastasia Brow Definer. Now this, you guys, is such a great brow product. I love it so much because of its ease. It is so easy to carve out your brows and create a really nice solid brow with them. It's got this angled kind of shape to it, so it makes for creating a really nice effortless line and carving out that area, and you can just shade them in very easily. So this is really great. Like I said before, it just makes doing your brows so easy. And at the end, it has a nice spoolie, so you can comb out your brow hairs, and you can comb them out before or after to create the needed brow look you're looking for. This is really great. Kind of pricey, it is $20 or so, but it's really nice. I like it a lot. Now, Smashbox has one. It's called the Brow Tech To Go. And the reason why I'm sharing this one with you as well is both are really great. I don't love one formula more than the other. This one, like the Anastasia Beverly Hills one, has the nice angled tip to the pencil, and it's really easy. It's got a really easy formulation, doesn't tug on the skin as well. But the thing I love about this is that it has a brow gel at the other end. So for a beginner, this is nice because you have your brow product and then you have your brow gel all in one. So you can comb out your brows and set them with the brow gel and they will stay in place all day. So this one is really nice. I think they're in the same ballpark, give or take a couple dollars. So I think that, you know, if you want to spend the extra dollar and get the brow gel, it's a really nice option. Okay, now for eyeshadow. Now, I didn't include eyeshadow pans because I feel like that's a little overwhelming. I think that there's so many options with eyeshadow pans and there's so many brands that sell individuals and it can get very expensive. So I wanted to share with you palettes because I feel like that's the way to go when it comes to eyeshadows, especially when you're just starting, because it can be a one-stop shop for you. You can have all the colors you could possibly want in one place and it's just one price as opposed to spending $6 on each pan and creating a palette, so to speak. So I'm going to share with you two that I absolutely love. These are great. I love both of them equally, so you don't need to buy the high-end version. You can buy the drugstore version. The first product I'm going to share with you, this one is very hyped about here on YouTube as well, and it is the Morphe Times Jaclyn Hill palette. And you guys, I have included this in my Best of Beauty because it is such an amazing product. I was so impressed with the formulation of these eyeshadows, and for the price point, you really cannot beat them. And I love it because you get such nice sized pans. Look at how big this palette is and how much eyeshadow you get, and this retails for $38, I believe it is. So in this palette you get 35 eyeshadows, and I love this palette because it literally has every color that I can possibly need to create any eyeshadow look. Whether you're going for something a little bit more vivid or you're going something a little bit more neutral, it has everything that you need because it does have your pops of color. Most importantly, nice transition shades. I feel like for me, the struggle with eyeshadow palettes is having a really nice set of transition shades, and I feel like she did a really good job with this because they do have some transition shades that I absolutely love. So this is great. You can create so many different looks with this, and it's so affordable. You're paying literally like $1 per eyeshadow, so I feel like you can't beat that price point. So this is definitely a really great choice whether you're balling on a budget or not. I love it so much. It was definitely one of my most used palette as of last year. I literally brought this on every trip I went on, and you can see that the colors do have some dents to them because I love them so much. Now my high-end choice is going to be one from Too Faced, and this is the Sweet Peach palette. And I believe this is like $50 or $55, so it is a little bit pricey, but I do really like this eyeshadow palette. So in this palette you get 18 eyeshadows as opposed to the 35 and you're paying almost double for it. So it's a little bit more of a pricey splurged product. But I do like the color selection in here. You have your purple, which is your pops, and then you have your olive shade. I love the warmth to this palette. It's got really nice transition shades. I love this color right here for my crease. And I love the browns in here. It's got really nice rich browns, and then your creams, and then your more neutral tones. So this is a very neutral palette, but it does have some nice pops of color right here. But this is a really good one. I enjoyed this one a lot, and I think it's great for people who are my complexion especially because the color choices in there are really good. But if I had to choose one, I'm going to be honest, if I had to, I definitely would choose the Jaclyn Hill one because you're getting a lot more for your money, and I love the color selection, and she has so many more options, I feel. So the last portion of this video is going to be lip products, and lip products are definitely like, I don't know, like I think that I don't know, I just feel like you can give or take on lip products. Like there's definitely some things that like I love from the drugstore, and there's definitely some things I love that are high end. So I'm going to share with you first the lip liners that I love, and the lip liners that I think that are really great, they're from the drugstore, are these ones from NYX. These are so good, they're so affordable, they're a couple bucks, and they're such a great formulation. They're very creamy. I don't have really great colors, I have like really vibrant colors. This is in the color Sand Pink, but I love the formulation of these. They're so soft and they're very smooth and very creamy, and I love them. Like, so I don't think that you need to spend for the lip liner. That's definitely a drugstore product that is well worth the money, and you get as good a product as you would the high end. Now when it comes to high end, there are some that I love, but I think that you can find nice shades in the NYX one. They have such a great selection of colors. But the ones from MAC that I love are the colors In Control and Nice and Spicy. And these are the Pro Longwear lip pencils. And the reason why I'm sharing the Pro Longwear one, I like the formulation better than their normal lip pencil. Their lip pencils are a little bit dry sometimes. And I think the Pro Longwear ones are a little bit more creamy. So I love these colors. They're completely up my alley. I love like muted nudes and mauve tones. And I think that these are like really great ones to line your lips with. I think that lip liner is definitely a step that you can live without. I don't always line my lips, I will be honest. Sometimes it makes for a more precise lip when you're wearing colors like today. I did line my lips because it made it easier to apply the color. But these two shades are really nice. I love them. They have really good stay power. These have better stay power than the drugstore ones, I would say. And they don't smudge as much. So you can see here, whereas the NYX one kind of smudged away and the Pro Longwear ones are staying in place. So they're pretty great quality. I mean, I don't think you need to get them, but they're pretty good quality if you had to splurge. They last for a while. Now on to lips. Now liquid lips are like the trend right now, and I like a nice liquid lip. I will be honest. Like, I think that liquid lips look really good, but they can also look very bad really quick. Like, they can go from good to bad very quickly. And I feel like that's because sometimes they just stick to dry patches of your lips and those fine lines, so it just can look like ugh on some people. So I'm going to share with you some liquid lips that are comfortable but look really nice. And the first is going to be my drugstore liquid lips, and they're both from NYX. The first one is the NYX Liquid Suede, and this is in the color Soft Spoken. This is such a beautiful lip. I think that it's one of my favorites. I can always count on it because the color is absolutely perfect, and it's such a comfortable shade. So this is not like your traditional liquid lip where it's like dry. I think it kind of has like a satin finish to it, but it's ultra pigmented. Look at that pigmentation. And it dries down really nicely, and it's very comfortable. It doesn't make your lips feel overly dry, which is really nice. So I love that. That's it right there. It's probably my most used lip product. And my other lip product that I really love from the drugstore is this one called the NYX Lingerie. They have so many different colors. They're all like nudes, and I have a lot of them, but this is the color Push Up. This is a really beautiful nude. So that's it right there. You can see that very pigmented as well. So both of those are really great. And as far as my high-end one, I'm going to share with you my most loved liquid lip, and that's because it's just so comfortable and so nice. And it is Bare Minerals. This is in the color Boss, and this is probably the most comfortable liquid lip I've ever placed because it makes my lips feel very hydrated, but giving me that nice matte lip at the same time. And this formulation is very similar to the NYX, where it's like that thicker, like foamier kind of feel to it, like that cushiony kind of thing. But it just is so nice, you guys. And that color, look at her. She looks too cute on my hand, girl. Too cute. Now, as far as lip glosses go, I definitely think that you can opt out on the high end, but it's definitely an option if you're interested. And the best lip gloss that I've ever placed on my lips, and it's my favorite gloss, and I've gone through so many of them at work and stuff like that because they're just such a comfortable, hydrating lip gloss, is the NYX Butter Glosses. This is the intense one, but they have just normal butter glosses, and this one is really, really nice. It's so smooth on the lips, feels very hydrated. I love the scent. It's a very nice, fresh vanilla kind of sweet scent to it, and it just feels so nice. Like when you rub your lips together, it just feels, I don't even know, it feels perfect. And this is the only shade I have, which is like a very intense shade, but it's really nice. But I'm going to show you how pigmented this lip gloss is for a lip gloss. And this is only a couple bucks. Look at how pigmented that is for a gloss, you guys. That's impressive. They always have specials at Ulta, so you can get them for a killer price. And the pigmentation you just cannot beat. Like for a drugstore product, you can't go wrong with this. Now, as far as my high-end choice, this is from Anastasia Beverly Hills. They make my favorite high-end lip glosses, and I love them. They smell so good as well. Oh, I love them. And this is in the color Dainty, and it looks like very bright and very pink, but this is one of my favorite shades to mix on my lips with other colors to just mute them and make them a little bit more toned down, I would say, when they're a little bit too much. So that is it right there, right next to that NYX shade right there, and you could see that's pretty pigmented too. So both of them are really great formulations of glosses, just one's cheaper than the other is all it really boils down to. I think that the Anastasia Beverly Hills one, they stick a little bit longer on lips because they have a stickier consistency, and the NYX one is a little bit more of a, I don't know, it kind of slides, but it's not a big deal. I feel like I always have to reapply lip products. Now, lastly, I am going to share with you some lipsticks. Now, lipstick is one of those things that I will be honest and say that I love the high-end choice of my lipstick that I'm going to share with you. They're my favorite lipsticks of all time, but the drugstore one is good too, but I just love the high-end version. So the high-end version, since I talked about it and how much I love it, is one from MAC. I love MAC lipsticks. They're my favorite. I have tons of them, like probably like 40 of them or 50 even. It's a little shameful how many MAC lipsticks I have. But the shade that I absolutely love and I think it's great for a beginner is the color Whirl, which is a matte shade, but it's a comfortable matte. And I love it because it's like a brown mauve tone. And I love these shades because I think they pair well with so many different things. I think they look beautiful. Their mattes are very comfortable. I love the way they smell. MAC's got a very classic lip smell. It's like a vanilla. The formulation of MAC lipsticks are my favorite. I think they stay the best. And I have YSL. I have very high-end stuff, but MAC is probably my favorite, hands down. And when it comes to the drugstore, this one's great, but I don't think the longevity is as good. And it is the Milani lipstick. I love the color Naturally Chic. This is a great shade. It's one that will pair well with so many different looks. And it is a lighter, pinkier, muted nude. I want to say like a pinky nude. And that is it right there. Really pigmented, really nice as well. They smell really good. They smell like candy almost. So those are all the lip products right there, you guys. You can see I love like neutral tones. So I hope this video was beneficial. I hope it helped you guys out. This is definitely something that a lot of people ask me about, so I want to, make a video for it and be helpful to the community. So I will see you guys soon. Please don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe if you made it to the end of this video, and I will see you guys soon. Bye, guys.